let's go over some pitch grips because everybody loves pitch grips. I'll let you walk us through them.
Okay. So we'll go, basic four-seamer. Comfort, I mean, I'll switch between horseshoe, inside, outside. Guys talk about like the labels and stuff. I haven't gotten that deep into it, but I normally go horseshoe outside. Pretty simple, a little bit of space.
So, but you actually switch. Will you switch in the middle of the game, or?
No, in catch play, I just do it just so I don't get like so fixated that like I have to throw a fastball like this.
Gotcha.
So I'll throw like this. I'll throw them like this, just to create different feels, so that when I get to a game, like just in case, I don't know, with the clock sometimes maybe you'll get one and like, all right, you got to be ready to go.
Didn't think about
either
that.
way.
That's cool.
So just different ways, creating variability a little bit. Sinker, two seam, I go like right in the middle, and then I torque it a little bit, so I have like a little bit of pressure here, so it's a little bit more of like a one seam, and then thumb tucked underneath. Just throw it the same normal fastball. I think just because of my slot and like how I throw it, creates a little bit different like seam orientation and how it moves. But
I was just going to ask that. How do you see the ball when it's going through the air on like an Edgertronic or something?
I haven't looked at it on edge. This was actually just a pitch last year. I was in the minor leagues, throwing just the four seam, sweeper, and changeup. And our pitching coordinator at the time is like, I was having a lot of long innings, like high pitch count, low innings. So he was like, need a pitch to kind of get some quicker outs with. And he's like, we're just going to start playing with a two seam. So he came down. I threw a bullpen one day. He was like, yeah, just throw it, see how you can make it move in different ways. Kept playing with grips, and ended up on this one. So it's kind of just the one I've rolled with. Going gyro slider now. People called it a cutter last year. I guess I kind of called it a cutter, but it's really like the movement profile and how I want to throw it. It's more like a gyro. Bottom of the horseshoe, kind of like on the fingertips here. Thumb is kind of on this seam, and then throw it like a fastball. All my pitches really I'm trying to throw and think just like a fastball. I'm not trying to change much about it. If I try to like spin them or shape them or whatever it is, like they're not going to be any good. So it's all based like fastball mentality.
And you get the true bullet spin on that thing.
Yeah, exactly. So trying to go for close to low vert and low horizontal, close to 0-0. We're still working on it. It's obviously still a relatively new pitch, but for the most part, it's been a lot better. Sweeper, I go hook on the bottom seam here, so like really get into it, and then spike it, and then thumb here. So again, pretty new pitch. I started throwing it at the beginning of last year. Obviously, everybody's talking about the sweeper and how big it was, and so it's been a kind of continue to be a work in progress for me. I've never thrown pitches that moved a whole lot. I've never really been great about spinning the baseball. So, it's definitely been a work in progress of just feel, and with such a big movement and being able to command it. Just kind of always learning about different ways to throw it and how I can be better about it. But
what is it? Have you looked at seam orientation on that? Because it is very seam oriented.
A little bit, yeah. I've looked on it on edge a little bit. It looks kind of funky coming out on edge, like throwing it kind of has a little bit. It's not like I don't throw a true like side spinner that just kind of takes off. Mine has a little bit more depth, and it's a little bit more like slurvy. So I'll be pretty low vert, and then 13 to like 18 horizontal on it. So kind of in the middle, but like some guys will throw a little higher one, like higher vert, that kind of just like scoop, like Brash's is like pretty much straight across.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it just doesn't really like have a whole lot of depth. It's just kind of like carries across the zone. George is pretty good about getting a little bit of both. Bryce is just kind of turned into more like a slurve. So everybody's got a little bit different, ones on the staff, which is nice. So you can kind of learn of like, what do you do well? Kind of take a little bits and pieces here and there.
Are you able to tunnel that with your other pitches, or is that?
A little bit, but that's what I said. It's really based on throwing it like a fastball and like body and aggressiveness like a fastball.
Yeah.
If I try to think, just kind of land it or shape it or whatever, it's going to be slow, and it's honestly harder to command it that way. If I just think, be aggressive with how I'm throwing it and the mentality of how I'm throwing it, it actually turns out, to be better. So, and then circle change, last one will go, so bottom, it's kind of like the horseshoe, kind of like on these callus here.
Yep.
Here, index finger and pinky just kind of relax where they want, and then thumb on the seam here, and then keep it pretty loose. Same thing. It's gotta throw it aggressive. Gotta throw it like a fastball. And catch play, I actually started throwing it like longer distances, like 90 feet, 120 feet. Started really pulling down on it. I was just throwing it at 60 feet sometimes in like flat grounds, and I was always kind of babying it or trying to shape it, and it helped me a lot with just like throwing it like a fastball, throwing it aggressive. So it's actually been a lot better this off season and this spring so far. Just continuing to throw it hard, and so I'm really excited about where that pitch is at.
Do you pronate it at all, or just let it
No,
come out?
not really. I mean, I think if you do a good job of just like being aggressive and throwing it out front, you're gonna get to where you need to go. If I think about doing it, like my bad ones for me are the ones that just kind of run off. The good ones I want to see a little bit more depth and like top to bottom on it. So if I try to spin it or like shape it, I'll kind of just like leave it out and it'll spin and run off. The good ones that I get to the front of kill spin and like have a little bit less vert and just kind of like are a little bit more top to bottom shape as opposed to like a two-seamer or something that just kind of runs off.
Man, Bryce Miller's pitching today. How are you doing, Bryce?
I'm good. I'm ready to go.
We got to talk about this new splitter. Let's see the grip.
This one kind of stumbled upon it. It took like a month to find a comfortable grip. The first month of the off season, I was throwing I tried the regular. I tried everything, and like a lot of them, they were just inconsistent shape. I'd throw some that would sweep, and the next ones would be good. So my throwing partner didn't like it at all. But,
that would suck.
Yeah, once I found this one though, I watched a lot of Singa.
Yeah.
I think his is more like this.
Right, and I think his finger's up maybe a little high.
Yeah. But switched it over to this side. I actually found it from a video from Tread.
Oh, okay,
They had a guy that was cutting his. I forget who it was, and they showed him it was this grip. But I felt more comfortable with the fingers up, kind of like Gosman a little bit. But
Yep.
I came across this one. Last year I was on a big sweeper push.
Yeah.
And was dropping my slot to get horizontal.
Yep.
So this year I've kind of altered that. It's the same grip.
And y'all are everybody's spiking their stuff too.
Yeah, it's something that whenever I first learned it in high A a couple years ago, it's just the grip I went with. But this year I'm going the only thought process with it is to throw it hard from the fastball slot.
Yep.
And it's more slurvy, a little bit more curveball-ish, but it's been 83, 84 in 15 and 15. So it's something I'm excited about as well. That I think it'll play off the heater better, and I can go in different counts. Last year it was only an 0-0, just dump it back door to lefty pitch. Whereas now I think I can throw it whenever.
More confidence this year, or you were confident last year? You feel?
I was confident last year, but going into the year, knowing the year that I had last year with mainly a fastball, going into this year with more, I'm ready to go. I'm excited.